Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Project 2 walkthrough. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and point out some of the things that I would like you to accomplish while you're putting together Project 2. So I'll go ahead and do that now. This is an example of a student who put together Project 2 on Jared Bernstein. And the first thing that I want to point out to you is that this student uses pictures, and notice that she labels the pictures here. And these pictures are present on several different pages. I'll just scroll down. And she also has different types of inserts to represent the multimodal design work that we've been working on throughout the term. So not only can you include just like a picture of the person, but also show some additional details. Down here, we have another post that shows some multimodal design. And she goes on to incorporate these throughout the paper. So this just gives you an idea here of some things that you can include in your project, of course, according to the person that you are reviewing. I also want to point out that she has a reference page, which is essential to Project 2. So you'll notice that she not only referenced her captions, but also then provided them on the reference page. And then she also will be referencing any of the secondary research that she included. I'll point out an example right here after a quotation that she uses. Here is a sample of an in-text citation that she then later places on her reference page. So far we've covered the inclusion of multimodal designs, references, and then I'm going to take you up to where she begins an analysis of the rhetorical devices. She first introduces us, but then when she really gets into it down here at the bottom of page 3, she outlines the different types of rhetorical concepts, using a really nice sentence that sets us up for the 4 major rhetorical concepts. And so she mentions logos, pathos, ethos, and kairos in the order that she's going to discuss them. And then she gives a little further detail on what each one of these mean, and uses a source, a secondary source that she used to investigate further into what each of the rhetorical concepts were. She has her final rhetorical concept here. And then after this introductory paragraph of the rhetorical concepts, she begins with the first one. So she goes into greater detail with the concept of logos, discusses logos, which is of course your use of facts, any kind of facts that you would find in the social media account, any statistics, charts, graphs, that would be your logos. So coming down here, you'll notice in the next paragraph, she sticks with pathos. So it's all logos up here and then pathos here. So what's nice about that is it's well organized, and she doesn't say have some logos and pathos in this paragraph and then some logos and pathos in this paragraph. It's really well organized to demonstrate a separation between each rhetorical device, and that keeps everything coherent. So then when she gets into pathos, she gives some examples here and begins to analyze the emotional appeals, which of course play on the audience's emotion. See here, she discusses how the quote is aimed to appeal to the audience's emotion and evoke compassion. So we're looking for words that that evoke emotion, and we're also looking for images that evoke emotion, and that's your pathos that you're focusing on. Finally, down in this paragraph, she discusses the concept of ethos, which is establishing the credibility of this person to tweet on these subjects. So we want to know why this person is an expert on the subjects that he's tweeting about. You know, we don't want a doctor tweeting on political events, for example, right? So we want to make sure that the author or the subject of the social media account that you are evaluating is sticking true to their expertise. And so she demonstrates this in her project by discussing Bernstein's credentials. He currently serves as the chief economic advisor to the Biden administration, and goes into some details and facts about his credentials. And then finally, she gets down into the Kairos, which highlights why this particular social media account is important during this time, in this place, and why it wouldn't have worked 10 years ago or 10 years from now. This is obviously a very, you know, she's dealing with a political subject, and this was timely to the recent election. So it's obvious that this would not have worked 10 years ago because it was a different time period. We're looking at different key players in the political mode. And so you're going to want to take a look at your chosen person and decide why this person is talking about the subject matter at this time, how it's important right now in history, and why it would or would not work at a different time in history. So those are some of the key things that I'll be looking for then as I go over your projects. Of course, you're going to have additional feedback from me after your draft in order to further improve upon your work before you turn the final draft in. So I hope that was helpful to you and that you can follow some of the advice and sample that I provided here in order to do the best possible draft you are able to put together. Please let me know if you have any questions.